Welcome to the Orange Power Podcast featuring Coach Jacie Hoyt, the head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowgirls. And Coach, man, what a fun time to talk some Cowgirl basketball, huh?
It's been a fun week.
It has been a great week. And, you know, it's the part about it that's really been fun, besides the obvious wins against really good basketball teams, is as the growth of this team continues and we come off those really tough losses we had to talk about before, your kids, with your guidance, they found a way to really turn things around almost instantly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, we have talked all year long about the experience, the maturity that this group has. And, it's just a week ago we were talking about the fact that although they were experienced, not necessarily Big 12 experience, but then, I think that they took that experience in those first two games and really used it to, kind of propel them into what they needed to do in order to step up and get that taste of success. And, I challenged them. I helped them understand some things. And to their credit, they took what I said. They took what the coaching staff said, and they made those necessary changes.
Well, because, Coach, we can sit here and talk about how mature and how good this group has been and how terrific of young ladies they are, but that still may never translate into wins, right? So was there any nervousness that, okay, we can turn it around and play this really good Texas team and still come up with another L, and then the doubt crept in, but because of the W, that kind of just really righted the ship?
Yeah, that doubt is always going to be there. It's just what you do. It's whether you listen to it or not, and I'm someone who just tries to stay really strong in my faith and in my mind, and you just show up and you fight like heck and see what happens. And I love being a part of this team because they really stand alongside me in that. And that's the power of the Big 12, right? You can play at your best and you're still might not come up on the winning side. And, fortunately for us, though, that wasn't the case.
No, it wasn't. And obviously you get the win. I want to talk about Texas. But, Coach, again, the interesting part, too, the fun part, again, to get to see you, as you said, you challenge them. You cast a vision for them, right? You show them, hey, this is what it takes. And when a kid can see a well-described vision, typically they can go, oh, that's what you want me to do.
Yeah. And
the vision was there in the right tone, and those kids, man, they came out swinging.
Yeah. I'll talk about my coaching staff. I've got great people around me. I do feel like I have a very clear vision. My mom has been preparing me for those moments since I could walk. And so I've just been so fortunate all throughout my life to have really great people around me kind of show me what it looks like to be a good leader in times of adversity, in the highs and the lows. And we were kind of at a low point, but that didn't mean that we still didn't understand what it takes to get there. And again, I love my team. I'm so thankful for a group of girls that are bought into me and bought into hard work. Mm-hmm. They're bought into doing things when maybe it's hard to have that faith that it's going to pay off. But, to their credit, they did. They bought in. They've continued to buy in, and I know we're going to continue to get big wins because of that.
Well, and the first one was at Texas. Again, your first conference win, which, again, we talked about some first out there, your first Big 12 conference win. But, this one, Coach, was not without its controversy. Not controversy. It's adversarial situation. You had two kids foul out. You had Taylon Collins have to be carried off the floor. And yet the team, Anna Gret and Lior and the other kids coming off the bench, they just weren't going to be denied.
Yeah, that's been a theme for us all season long, that this team is a team that has to do things by committee. And, on one hand, that can make things a little bit tough sometimes because if someone doesn't step up and do their job, it's really going to be felt by everyone. But in the same sense, in that case, if somebody goes down, it's just next woman up. And man, Anna Gret stepped up. All of them stepped up, and they've continued to step up. And it's just so fun being a part of such a collective group of people. We have great players, but we don't have some of the McDonald's All-Americans or no one on our team got picked in the preseason coaches polls to be a first team all conference player. Which is fine. But it speaks volumes to the way that they have each other's backs and just the collective group effort that this team continues to give.
Let's go to a couple of big moments in that game early on. Taryn Milton, I think it was the Morris kid for Texas that was trying to drive, and Milton just literally would not give her space to operate. It turned her around a couple of times, made her come back out, gets a block, gets the ball, gets it ahead, and then Leora Garzon 6 feet behind the line just lets it fly. That was one of those big moments. And when those things started happening, and big moment after big moment, and equaling everything Texas did plus some, you just got a sense that this was going to be Cowgirl basketball night.
Yeah. So we have something that we talk about in our team. It's E plus R equals O. Event plus the response equals the outcome. And after those two early losses in conference, we talked about, watching film, okay, our response in the fourth quarter against KU wasn't what it needed to be. Our response in the last few minutes against K-State wasn't what it needed to be. But, man, the R every time at Texas was exactly what it needed to be. They just kept responding. They kept responding and finding ways to win, and that's what it takes. And the outcome, is exactly what we wanted it to be.
Absolutely. Terrific win against the number 12 team in the net. So another quad one win for Oklahoma State at that point. So, okay, that's fine. But what do you do now on the road in a place you haven't won since 2014? Well, the answer to that question is you go down there and you keep doing what you've been doing. And, Baylor's a fantastic basketball team, but you guys found another win, this one on the road. And that R keeps getting good.
Yeah. And the fun thing about sports is the R is going to look different every time. You're going to be faced with a lot of different events and circumstances. And as always, playing on the road is tough. You're going to have to respond really well to different things that sometimes you just don't see at home. But, man, this group is fearless. And we're playing fun. We're playing free. We always want to play with joy. And that's exactly what you saw that Baylor game. There's no pressure. This team is just, it's us versus us, and it always will be. And I think when you are playing with that freedom, that, there's no fear of failure. We're going to go out there. We're going to empty the tank. We're going to have each other's backs. That's what we're doing right now.
Anna Gret came into that game very quickly. You had some early turnovers, 9 turnovers in the first quarter, in fact, but only 16 for the game. So you really got that corrected. But Anna Gret came in, and this goes to what you were talking about, and you made a substitution for a young lady, and you don't go, oh, listen, you're done. No, you're done for right now, but you're coming back, and we need you. But Anna Gret came in, and I thought she really gave you guys a calming presence on the floor. She
has done that really the last 2 games, and I love that kid. She's a special kid. She's a great player. She's a special kid. She loves basketball. She watches basketball more than anyone I know. I mean, every time I see her, she's watching. Sometimes it's like random YouTube stuff from 10 years ago. She's just a encyclopedia. She loves the game, but she's gone through some adversity personally because she's battled an injury, a couple injuries all season long, really, and people don't realize we didn't have her against Kansas. We didn't have her in some of those early games. And I'm just so happy for such a hardworking, bought-in kid to be able to now get to play and be healthy and then have success. And our team, they love her, they rally around her, and she's been great for us.
Going back to this game, again, Baylor got the game tied up at 52 apiece. You guys, again, the R, which again is new to me, this equation, but I like that. So the R was an 8-0 run, right? Came right back-to-back threes, got a steal, got a run-out bucket, and then all of a sudden the O was another W.
Yeah, and credit to our team for just having that growth mindset, because after we learned those hard lessons early on, it really allowed us now to be able, in those timeouts, in those crucial moments, to say, hey, we've been here before. We know what needs to happen. We know what needs to be done. And our kids responded beautifully.
Terrific win. Cowgirls now 2-2 in the Big 12, and just great wins. Another quad one win. So that's 3 now for Oklahoma State. If the NCAA started right now, we'd be talking about a 3 seed, 2 seed. I don't know. I love that we're talking. I know you're not talking NCAA tournament yet, but that's where this program is right now. I want to get to one final thing before we let you get out of here. We had an adversity with the plane. Wasn't quite ready for us a little bit. And Coach, two things in that moment in this whole thing. First off, I did something I've never done before. We went into the lounge and we watched the game.
Yeah.
The game with the kids. They put it on and wanted to watch it again. And I'm going to tell you, Lior and Annegret and Mimi, they were the 3 primary players in there watching. That was a hoot to watch them watch themselves in an entire game, just observing how they looked, what kind of reaction they had to the official, what the official said to them. They couldn't wait to get set down and take advantage of the fact we got lots of time here, and they just watched the game together.
It's a group that loves each other.
Yeah.
I just talked about loving the game, and it's so fun because, you know, we put so much pressure on them, I think, and everyone, fans and me as a coach, we all do it. We want to win so bad. We forget that they're just kids, and they just, those 3 especially, have a very childlike joy about them when it comes to the game and really just life in general. And I always love seeing them in that light, you know, not a film session, but just
absolutely.
This is just us, you know, hanging out, and they're just, I can't say enough about how much fun they are.
Those 3, I tell you, we laughed so doggone much because they were so funny. We asked them all kinds of great questions about their countries, and just it was just really a fun deal. And it made me think, you know, in the old days, we went on a lot of bus trips, right? That's when you got to know kids, and when kids got to know each other even better. And we fly so much; it's a 1-hour flight, and it's not the same. But that was forced communication and forced communion, and it was kind of old times. And you said it's not funny right now because it's 4 a.m. when we get home, but this will be a good story someday.
Yeah, winning helps everything.
Yes,
so that being stuck there would have been a little different if we didn't come up with that win. But man, what a way to be humbled after a top 20 win on the road, you know, and then we're forced to hang out there all night. But it was fun. Just love what we're doing and the people we're doing it with.
And the final thing from that, I was privy to eavesdropping, and I heard you say to some, we had some fantastic donors that went with us on this trip as well. You said this is one of my favorite teams of all time.
It is.
You know, and again, that conversation was happening because we're in an airport hangar for 2 hours waiting to get on the plane. But I thought that was intriguing. I mean, obviously you've been around a lot of great teams, but this is one of your favorites.
It is. It's just from top to bottom, every single kid, they bring something special, whether it's on the floor, whether it's just with their personalities. I mean, you could go all the way back to this summer and seeing all the fun that we had together. It's just a group that loves each other, which is amazing that they've clicked as fast as they have, because at this time a year ago, none of us knew each other. But there's just something special here, and man, when you're with a group of players who are bought in to the same mission, they love each other, they care about each other, it's just a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Cowgirls on a 2-game winning streak. They'll try to put that win streak on the line against TCU Saturday inside Gallagher-Iba Arena, 2 o'clock, only game this weekend inside Gallagher. The men are on the road. Great opportunity to come out and support the Oklahoma State Cowgirls. Coach, appreciate the time. Congratulations on where we're going right now. Let's go get a couple more.
Let's do it.
All right, that's going to do it for us. For Coach Jacie Hoyt, I'm Casey Kendrick. We'll see you guys next time on the Orange Power Podcast.